today is the Feast of the Presentation. This feast comes to us from the very early church. It was celebrated as early as the year 386 in Jerusalem, where it involved a torchlight procession, a vigil of expectation to the Lord who comes to meet his people with the light of salvation. The feast is still known in the Eastern Church as the Encounter. The encounter symbolized by that meeting of Jesus with Simeon and Anna in the temple. By the 7th century, the feast had come to Rome, where its observance also involved a candlelight procession. The feast is set 40 days after Christmas, reflecting the Jewish observance of the infant's presentation in the temple and the purification of the mother after giving birth, both required to take place 40 days after birth. Hence, this feast is also known as the Feast of the Purification. But it also has another name. It's not Groundhog's Day. It's also known as Candlemas, because this is the day when candles are blessed. In fact, the Roman Missal still has a ritual for the blessing of candles and a procession with the lit and newly blessed candles. The Feast of Candlemas is a gentle feast in the light of the darkness of winter. It reminds us of the light that has entered the world. In our first reading today, the prophet Malachi awaits the coming of the messenger of the day of the Lord. We know that messenger as John the Baptist. But the prophet envisions the coming of the Lord with power and glory to purify and cleanse, so that a perfect sacrifice may once again be offered in the temple in Jerusalem. The second reading today is the pivot of today's feast. It shows the great high priesthood of Jesus to consist in the linkage between God and humanity, as it really is. The judge that the prophet Malachi waited for would view the world through human eyes. In our gospel reading, we have the old man Simeon, the embodiment of Israel's waiting. He never wavered in his trust in the words of the prophets. Now before his eyes, the ancient promises come true. He has seen the great Messiah in a completely unexpected way, as a baby. And this is how the splendor of God would appear in the darkness, as a gurgling baby. The Messiah would come from and remain with the human family. Now, we didn't bless any candles this morning, but I'd like to make a suggestion concerning candles. In moments of loneliness, or decision, or prayer, or searching, we might light a candle to remind us of the abiding presence of the Lord. There once was a custom which came over from Europe with our ancestors, and that was of lighting a blessed candle in times of a storm. I can remember that happening in my family. My parents would do that. In the time of a severe nighttime storm, they would get us all up out of bed. They would light that blessed candle, and we'd all pray the rosary. Now, the candle didn't make the storm go away. But it did remind us that the Lord was there with us in the storm. In our personal storms, I think it can be comforting practice to light a candle to recall that the light is with us in any darkness.